Pew, and we are here today to talk about bears. Now, bears all belong to the same family, and that family is called Ursidae. Humans also belong to a family. We belong to a family known as Hominidae. Now, what makes a family? Well, it has to do with characteristics that are found within the species. So, some of the things that make us Hominidae, or humans, are our upright stance, ability to walk on 2 feet, our plantigrade walking, which means that we use our whole foot to walk, from heel, toe. Another thing is our very large brains, and those brains allow us to use language, to reason, and to use tools. Today we're going to be talking about bears and some of the characteristics that make bears bears, as well as some other interesting facts that will help you understand the species of Ursidae. So let's talk about some of those bear characteristics that make bears part of the Ursidae family. Okay, for starters, bears have large, stocky bodies. Another thing, they have shorter, stocky legs. They also have long snouts, shaggy hair, plantigrade pods, similar to humans, and they have 5 non-retractable claws. So if you think about a claw and you think about a cat can pull their claw back up inside of their paw. Bears can't do that. Their claws are always out. Another thing, they have short little tails. They think that bears used to have much longer tails, but now the tail of the bear is anywhere between 3 and about 5 inches in length. Did you know that a male bear is called a boar and a female is called a sow? Can you think of another animal that also uses those terms to differentiate between male and female? Bears also have very strong jaws that can crush through bones. And their limbs are so powerful that they can tear apart trees and push over boulders. Bears are extremely intelligent creatures. They are thought to be smarter than the German Shepherd, which is considered to be the smartest of the dog species. They have the largest brain size compared to their body length of any carnivore. They have excellent memories and are very curious animals. Each bear species requires its own special habitat. But what is habitat exactly? Habitat is defined as the space that a species needs to find food and shelter in order to survive and thrive. Bears need clean air, clean water, a good food source, enough space to find shelter, and a mate. Those are the same things that other species also need in order to survive. If we can take care of the habitat of a bear, then we are going to be taking care of the habitat of many other species, including humans. Now, how about space? All animals, no matter what type of animal or species or family it belongs to, require enough space in order to survive and to thrive. Let's take a look at the sloth bear. So the sloth bear can be found in thorn forests, wet forests, and grasslands. A male requires about 13 square miles in order to find the amount of food it needs, shelter, and also a mate. So habitat is defined as food, shelter, and space. Let's take a look at those 3 in a little bit more detail. First of all, food. What do panda bears eat? You got it, bamboo. And where do we find bamboo? You got it again, in the Great Bamboo Forests of China. Therefore, the panda's habitat is going to be in the Great Bamboo Forests of China. Okay, so shelter. What do bears use for shelter? Well, in northern climates, bears spend part of the year denning. And bears will have different types of dens depending on what type of bear species is building that den. But one common thread between these dens is that mother bears use the dens to give birth to their babies. Typically, babies are born between the end of January and the middle of February. Now, when a baby is born, a baby bear looks a lot like a stick of butter. I'm serious. It's about the same size as a stick of butter. It weighs about as much as a stick of butter. It's bald like a stick of butter. It also can't see. like a stick of butter. And so that mama needs to spend that time in the den, making sure that those cubs grow to an adequate size so when they leave the den in the spring, they're going to be able to survive with the help of mom. Do you know how many bear species live around the world? There are 8. We're going to go ahead and take a look at those species and where they live. The first one is the sun bear. Now, the sun bear lives in the tropical forests of Southeast Asia. This includes places like India, China, Bangladesh. Our next bear is the American black bear. Can you guess where the American black bear lives? That's right, America. But not just the United States of America. It lives in Canada and parts of Mexico and is found in 49 states. Our next bear is the Asiatic bear. Now, this bear is also known as the moon bear and can be found in Russia, Korea, and Taiwan. There's also the sloth bear, and the sloth bear is found on the Indian subcontinent. We have the brown bear, and the brown bear is found in Canada and in 5 of our states, including Alaska, Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, and Washington. There's also the spectacled bear. The spectacled bear is the key bear of South America. Now, why do you think it's called the spectacled bear? Because it wears spectacles. Actually, the bear has rings around its eyes that are markings that help differentiate this bear from other bears. How about the panda bear? Can you guess where the panda bear lives? That's right, in China. And finally, we have the polar bear. The polar bear lives around the Arctic Circle, near the Arctic Ocean. Now think about your home range. Where do you go on a daily basis or a weekly basis? You probably go to school, maybe the grocery store with mom and dad, maybe the park, all sorts of places, your friend's house. This would be defined as your home range. Well, bears also have home ranges. In fact, most species have home ranges. Let's take a look at American black bear. The American black bear, a male's home range is going to vary anywhere from 8 to 60 square miles. Females typically have slightly smaller home ranges. A female black bear will have a home range of between 1 and 15 square miles. Now, I once heard of a bear that had a home range of over 300 square miles. So these can vary depending on species and within the species. Okay, since we are talking about habitat, food, shelter, and space, what do bears eat? Are they carnivores, meat eaters, herbivores, plant eaters, or omnivores, everything eaters? Well, they're classified as carnivores, but ask any scientist or bear expert and they'll tell you that bears are really omnivores. Even our friend the polar bear up in the Arctic Circle, who has a diet of seal, and, well, seal, you'll find that they occasionally will have a snack of kelp or seaweed. The panda bear, however, has a diet mainly of bamboo. However, it's also known to eat an insect or two and a fish if it's lucky enough to find one. What we like to say is that bears are really opportunistic eaters. That means if the opportunity arises to eat food, it's gonna do it. Bears are well adapted to living in the wild and have very finely tuned senses. Let's take a look at some of those. The first one is their sense of smell. Did you know a bear can smell food up to 5 miles away? It can also sniff a footprint on the ground and determine what type of animal left that footprint, and if it was a bear, which bear made that footprint, just by smelling the footprint. When a bear stands on its hind legs, in the movies, it's often depicted as a ferocious bear ready to charge. Really what the bear is doing is it's trying to use its nose to find out what's going on. It's sniffing the wind to see if it can figure out what's happening. As for their sight, bears can see just about as well as humans do. Except they are rumored to be a little bit nearsighted. That means that they can see things up close better than they can far away. Now, if you think about what bears like to eat, such as huckleberries and ants, you can imagine it might be beneficial to have nearsighted vision so they can really see those ants and those huckleberries. Another fun fact is that bears can see in color, just like humans. It is difficult to determine just how well a bear can hear. Can you imagine trying to give a bear a hearing test? Mr. Bear, would you please lift your left paw when you hear the beep? No, that probably wouldn't work. However, scientists have come to the conclusion that bears can hear about as well as people can. Bears are extremely powerful creatures with strong muscle groups. Did you know a polar bear can jump 8 feet out of the water to attack a seal? Bears can also run very fast over short distances of time. They've been recorded at running up to speeds of 35 miles per hour. The fastest Olympic sprinter has been recorded at 27 miles per hour. Moral of the story, don't ever try to run away from a bear. Thank you for joining us today. I have one last question for you. What color socks do bears wear? Silly, they don't wear socks, they have bare feet. Check us out at inspiredclassroom.com to see our other bear videos. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you next time.